Hello, and welcome to another day of Living with Spina Bifida. Today is Mental Health Monday, and today we are going to talk about self-esteem. Everyone in the entire world has self-esteem issues at some point in their life. People with spina bifida are no different. We have self-esteem issues. And for some people with spina bifida, the issues that come along with it, scars, the birth defect itself, the way that we walk, the way that we don't walk and we have to use a wheelchair, the medical equipment that we have to use, so many variables can give people with spina bifida low self-esteem. So today we are just going to talk about self-esteem as a whole. What is self-esteem? Your self-esteem is the way you look at or perceive yourself. If you have healthy self-esteem, it means that you like yourself and you believe that you are just as great and just as awesome as everyone else. If you have low self-esteem, it means that you think you are inferior to others. People that have low self-esteem tend to focus on what they believe are their shortcomings. They sometimes blow these flaws out of proportion. They might even ignore their strengths and achievements and positive things about themselves altogether and just focus on the negative. How does your self-esteem affect your life? Your self-esteem can affect how you feel, how you relate to people, how you deal with challenges, and how relaxed and safe you feel in your daily life. For example, the way you feel. In order to feel happy, you need to like yourself. If you have low self-esteem or you're constantly putting yourself down, you're more likely to feel depressed, anxious, or unhappy than someone who has a positive view of themselves. In your relationships, low self-esteem can affect the way you interact with other people. For instance, you might find yourself being unassertive, not saying what you feel, think, or want, and doing things you don't really want to do. Low self-esteem might also cause you to constantly seek self-reassurance with your peers, because deep down, you're not even sure if they actually like you. Or you just might find yourself trying to please other people. Or you just might find yourself trying too hard to please other people. You might constantly agree with them and offer to do things for them and help them out in order to earn their friendship. Being treated badly by other people can reinforce the belief that you aren't good enough and lower your self-esteem even more. Your willingness to move out of your comfort zone. Trying new things and moving out of your comfort zone every now and then is important for developing as a person. Low self-esteem may be holding you back from new experiences because you become overly concerned with the possibility of failure or looking stupid. How relaxed and comfortable you feel in the world. When your self-esteem is low, it can be difficult to feel comfortable and relaxed in everyday situations. For instance, you might feel awkward and self-conscious in many social situations. You might be worrying too much about what other people think about you, and you might constantly be looking for signs that people don't like you. If someone doesn't acknowledge you, you might immediately assume that they don't like you. So here are some ways that you could try to boost your self-esteem. Accept yourself. Every one of us has faults and weaknesses. This is part of being human. The key to good self-esteem is self-acceptance. This means accepting yourself as you are without condemning yourself for your perceived shortcomings. Avoid labeling yourself. When you don't reach a goal or perform in something as well as you hoped, it's easy to label yourself as bad in some way. For example, you might call yourself stupid because you didn't do something correct. This is a form of labeling. Labeling is a negative way of thinking because it relies on an overgeneralization. Each person is a complex mixture of characteristics, traits, qualities, and behaviors. And no one, including you, can be summed up by just one trait. Labeling simply makes you feel bad about yourself and serves no real purpose. It's much more useful to be specific and stick to the facts. For example, instead of labeling yourself and saying things like, I'm a failure, stick to the facts and say, I didn't get the grade that I wanted. And simply try harder next time. Recognize your strengths and weaknesses. Having a healthy self-esteem means you're able to feel good about yourself even though you're not perfect. You can be aware of your strengths without judging yourself. Many people are far too aware of their weaknesses and simply ignore their strengths and good qualities. For this reason, it can be helpful to spend some time thinking about the positive qualities in yourself that you take for granted. It might be helpful to make a list of your strengths and your weaknesses that you would like to improve on. Set goals. Although it's important to practice self-acceptance, this doesn't mean you shouldn't aim to improve some things about yourself or your life. Everyone has room for improvement. Sometimes it's helpful to make goals for things that you'd like to achieve or to change things that you aren't happy with in your life. For example, if you don't feel comfortable in certain social situations, it might be helpful to work on your communication skills and take some social risks. While it's often very helpful to set meaningful goals, it's also important to maintain a flexible attitude. This means accepting yourself, you achieve your goals. Be objective about situations. When you personalize an event or situation, you take responsibility for things that aren't your fault, or you blame yourself for negative outcomes without taking all factors into account. When in reality, situations and circumstances may be out of your control. Instead of personalizing things by saying, I failed because I'm dumb, be objective and say, I failed because I didn't study, or I don't really enjoy French class that much. Avoid comparisons. Some people get in a terrible habit of comparing themselves to others. I should actually say, almost everyone has compared themselves to another person, whether it be their looks, their career, their education level, their parenting, their social status. Everyone has tried to compare themselves to another person at one time or another. There's always going to be someone who appears to be doing better in life than you are. There's always going to be someone who is better than you are in life. But if you're constantly comparing yourselves to other people that appear better or are better, you're just going to constantly be unsatisfied with yourself and your own life. The reality is that everyone has different strengths and different weaknesses. Focus on your strengths. Have realistic expectations in the things that you would like to change about yourself or your life. And most importantly, stop comparing yourselves to others. You are not them. You are you. Communicate assertively. The way you communicate to others gives them information on how you feel about yourself. When you communicate about what you think, feel, or want in a clear way, the unspoken message you give out is, I matter, and my thoughts and opinions are valid, and just as important as anyone else's. You can communicate assertively by looking someone in the eye, talking in a clear, audible voice, rather than looking down and mumbling or communicating in hostile, angry tone. Assertive communication encourages other people to treat you with respect and helps you to feel good about yourself. Be aware not only of the things you say, but how you say them. You're far more likely to be treated with respect when you communicate self-respect as well. It doesn't really matter what you're doing in your life as long as you are enjoying your life. The big thing you should do is to start small. Start with something that you can do immediately and easily. When we start small, we build that momentum to gain more confidence in our other abilities. And then it's just kind of like a snowball effect, a positive snowball effect. and it just gets bigger and bigger until we just think we're awesome. Each completed task, regardless of how large or small it is a building block towards a more confident you. It's as easy as cleaning up your living space, your desk, your counters organized, or sometimes it's as easy as just getting all of your bills paid. You want to create a compelling vision. Just use the power of your imagination. Create an image of yourself as the confident, self-assured person you aspire to become. When you are this person, how will you feel? How will others perceive you? How does your body language look like? How will you talk? See this clearly in your mind's eye with your eyes closed. Feel the feelings. Experience being and seeing things from this new person of you in their perspective. Socializing is so important for self-esteem. I know a lot of people with spina bifida have issues with socialization because they isolate themselves, because they have low self-esteem. They don't feel good enough about themselves, that they don't think anyone will like them, so they don't even try to make new friends. So I challenge you to do something that scares you. Get out of the house. Join a club. Join a church. Join a class in your community. Just start talking to people and being friendly. You never know what could blossom into a friendship. I know a lot of this sounds kind of difficult to do, especially if you have low self-esteem. You don't think that you're going to be able to do it because you don't think you're good enough to be that powerful, strong person that you really are deep down inside. You just have to find it. It's there in there somewhere. Everyone has greatness in them. Everyone has the power to be who they really need to be. And everyone needs to be great. It doesn't matter if you have the top paying job. It doesn't matter if you have several kids and you're married. The most important thing to do in your life for yourself, for your self-esteem, for everything that you are, is to just be yourself. And a lot of people aren't going to like that self that you are. I know from personal experience, people don't like the way that I am. But I am not about to change who I am because people don't like the me that I am. I obviously like the things that I do. I like the way that things work. Like I said before, I'm not perfect because I am human. So there are things in my life that I could definitely change, and it'll get there in time. But me as a person, I will keep being who I am, and the right people will be attracted to me, and I will make the correct friends. Sometimes you think you have found the right people in your life, and sometimes you have to find out the hard way that those people weren't exactly right for you. But for the most part, in time, as long as you're being yourself, you will find people that work for you to be in your life. And the best way to do that is to be strong, be confident, think about how wonderful you are, how awesome you are, deep down. Even if some people don't like the you that you are, there are going to be people out there that do like the you that you are, and you can flourish and continue to be awesome with those awesome people. So just try your hardest. That's all you can do in life. As long as you're trying, you can't fail.